or I'll video it, I should say. Meatless, beefless, turkeyless, meatless, beefless, turkeyless grounds that I made about 5 days ago. Still good. It was always sealed. Just opened it today. It was stored just below room temperature, I should say. For, with this one, I forgot to add the tomato and the ketchup and spicy brown mustard. So one of the wraps, this one, the first one of this batch, I'm starting to use parchment paper to help the folding and rolling procedure, or procedural assembly of these wraps. The first one of this batch, I forgot to add the spicy brown and ketchup to it, other than the vegan mayo. It's vegan avocado mayo. And begin slicing the plum tomatoes like this. There's 3 plum tomatoes and 2 small stalks of romaine that I had rinsed under cold water and kind of like strained between both of my pre-washed hands. And dried hands, actually. The usual way I would. Look at that. It's textured vegetable soy protein and dehydrated vegetable blend that I had purchased from a carefully sourced vegan friendly company. That I believe doesn't use any shared equipment in that process or within the manufacturing of that area. I'm not 100% sure, but I think when I had checked the label, it's one of those companies that either practice not using shared equipment or that they say it was, whether or not it wasn't for some items. So but this product I'm using, dehydrated vegetables, I can pretty much be certain that there is absolutely no meat product or animal protein in there. When it comes to a dehydrated vegetable soup blend, or any monosodium glutamate or artificial flavorings. This is dehydrated vegetables that happen to smell as though there may be or may be confused with that of the other, but that's because of it containing already dehydrated onion, bell pepper, and tomato in there, like a sun-dried variety tomato. It's obviously not gluten-free because I'm not using a gluten-free version of soy sauce. These tortillas are wheat-based, but they are vegan. Everything here is 100% vegan. And the condiments that I'm using, the spicy brown, and as chances are uses a distilled white variety of barley malt vinegar. The ketchup either uses a rice vinegar or apple cider vinegar. It is claimed to be gluten free, yet it may not be necessarily that. Whereas it does have a bit of a it's a hard to determine. It's a bit hard to determine whether or not if it there that was accidentally labeled as gluten free or not. But that's not my job, anyways. Whereas if someone was truly concerned, they could probably call or contact the company of whether or not, or look on their FAQs first of their website and or their other products if they claim to be gluten free. But I'm not stating what brands these items are from necessarily, unless accidentally no, the non-dairy cheese I believe is, or let me see, when it comes to products manufactured by a vegan company like Life, they know what gluten-free versus products that would contain gluten mean by now usually. And that if they market it as being gluten free, they are usually quite accurate. But it's always good to double check sometimes at one's own discretion. So today is, I believe, the 11th or 12th of December. Bridget, what's today's date?
The 16th.
Wait, no. Is it? The 16th of December of 2022. What I'm going to do is just roll it up and put them in Ziploc bags. Slice them into halves and put it in Ziploc bags. A brand new double Ziploc bag in the fridge for about 12 to 24 hours before serving. Because they do taste a bit better after they've sat in folded up already in a cold type of moisture, absorbs the oils into the flour tortilla. It makes it easier to pick up and eat, and for some other people, it helps with the digestion. Or it's just more enjoyable sometimes to eat it that way. It's also easier to assemble using parchment paper and then rolling it up and then just throwing it in well, not throwing it, but placing it carefully into Ziploc bags. You probably fit about 3 to 6 of these wraps I'm making into a Ziploc bag. I like to double the Ziploc bags because sometimes things do happen to just fall onto the ground out of the fridge area, and then I have to carefully open up after washing my hands. I would carefully open up the exterior Ziploc bag and carefully take out the interior Ziploc bag, place what was of the interior Ziploc bag that is usually very airtight sealed somewhere else very